Right, guys, let's start today. We are going to see this WebDriver commands today, and really we'll focus, into this browser commands, which is now usually we have just different commands here. You can see whatever operations is like you can do with this browser. It is loading the page into the browser or getting the title of the browser and current URL loaded into this browser and get page source, which is HTML page source inside the browser, and we can close and quit. Guys, it's like so whatever operations you are performing on the particular browser. For example, you want to load the page, you will use this get a command which provides which accepts this, which you need to be passed the parameter as a string, and it will not return anything because it is return type of void. And what is the command? It's like how we can use this driver dot get this whatever application URL you have, that particular application URL you can send it into this as a parameter. After that, the page is loaded, but you want to know whether right page is loaded or not. Right page is loaded or not. That time, what do? You will get this page title. Page title. For example, you loaded this Facebook and Google or Gmail. The what is the page title? Always Google page title will be the Google. Facebook title may be Facebook, and Gmail page title will be Gmail. So after get command used, it will load this page and you will use this get title whether it is right page or loaded or not into the browser. And then the get title is going to be written the string, because whatever title is there in the page, it is going to be written you the title name. So you need to catch into the string. The return type is string. There is no parameters, but the return type is string. And how to use this command? Driver dot get title. Get title. Driver dot get title. So it is going to be written the title of that particular page. After that, you also can ensure whatever URL you passed it, the current URL, what is it? It's like if you want to fetch that current URL which is loaded in the page, yes, you can fetch that current URL which is loaded into the current browser or current instance, that by using the get current URL. Get current URL. The return type is string. The return type is string. It will return the string value once you use this get current URL, that current URL in the sense which is loaded into this current browser. And what is the command? Driver dot get current URL. Driver dot get current URL. So this driver dot get current URL is going to be written the loaded URL into this particular browser, which is in string format. It returns the string. So what is the other command? Get page source. Get page source is going to be written entire HTML code behind the UI, user interface, which is provides this HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It works behind the browser and it displays very nice user interface to the users. So if you wanted to know what is the source of that particular page, you can use this get page source. Get page source command, which returns this string. So all the page source is going to be written into the format of string. You can hold into this string. So what is the command? Driver dot get page source. Driver dot get page source. So this driver dot get page source is going to return the HTML or CSS, JavaScript, whatever it may be behind the page, and all the things you can get by using the page source. So why we used to get this get page source and why we need it? And for example, this release, our previous release, our next release, our upcoming, or whatever it may be, and if you wanted to cross check the page sources are changed or modified or anything, if you wanted to ensure it, and you can use this get page source command, and it will return as a string this whatever page source you have, and you can compare with this previous version page source with the current page source. And also, if you want to close this particular instance, it's like whatever the operations are doing in this particular instance of the browser, you can use this close command to close your instance of that particular browser, which is opened by the Selenium, It will not return any value because it is return type is void. So what is the command? Driver.close. So we can use this close method when the current instance which is operating the Selenium, that instance is going to be closed. It will not return anything. The return type is void. So what is quit? Quit is also is a similar kind of command which is like close, but if you have multiple instances, for example, you have opened one browser and you click on particular button or link, it is opened another window, that is another tab, that it will be different instance into the same browser. So you have two multiple instances now. If you want to close one instance, which is current operating instance, you can use the driver.close. When you want to close all the instances, like all the tabs, all the browsers, which is opened by the Selenium, then you can use this driver.quit. Driver.quit. This driver.quit will not return anything since it is void is a return type. So, any questions here till now? I'll show you this practically how we can do it. We can do it. So, any questions here? No. Let's go to create a one class name called browser commands, and we can see how it works. I know some of the people knows this. Ready? Please be patient. Created a one package of browser creating a class. See here, please be practice each individual session or each individual topic, because it's a very mandatory, or every interview also people may ask very simple commands as well as that important or difficult commands. I'll suggest to uh, practice each individual method, how it works. So you can see here get method, right? And I can say get. So in the get method main, I have written the main method here by using main and control space. So what we need to do to work with the Selenium, we need to initialize the web driver. We need to initialize the web driver. It's a W and D is a capital letters in web driver. And I'm giving the reference variable as a driver. And then we need to set the property of exe file system dot set property. There is a two things, set properties and set property. Use the set property, and this property you need to pass a key and value. The key is I want to open this Chrome browser. In a double quotes, I'm saying web driver. There is no capital letters in this, and CHROME Chrome dot driver. WebDriver dot Chrome driver is a key. There is no capital letters in this three words. WebDriver is also is a small letter. Chrome also is a small letter. Driver also is a small letter. So you can pass your driver path. You can pass your driver path. How to download this driver path? I explained in previous sessions. Still, I'm giving one more time. Go to this Chrome or any browser which you have, and you can go with the Selenium dev site, and you can find here somewhere browsers, public project. Somewhere you can find the browsers. Click on downloads. Let's see. It is not. Marvin ID C Sharp 64-bit great, an Internet Explorer driver. You can see this is an Internet Explorer driver server. 32-bit Windows IE. And if you are not finding here, let's see, I'll check one more time. Yes, here. Oh, it is not. Marvin information, Selenium extended. Drivers plugins, third party driver. Event system record. Okay, I'll give the path from where we can download into the Selenium dev. And instead of that, right now we can use this google.com, okay, and go to this search in a Google stating this Chrome driver download for Selenium. Simply you can say Chrome driver. Also, it will fetch your things. And select this Chrome driver. You can see here 87 version and 88 version. And based on your browser version, you can check your browser version into this settings and about Chrome. There is a version number it can display. This is an 87 version and 30. You can download 87 version here, which I have already downloaded in my system. So after downloading it, store into your system somewhere, and this will be the kind of folder it is going to be shown you, and you need to extract that. Then you'll find this Chrome driver exe. This path we need to be provided. Simply how to get this path? Windows R, there will be a command run space, and from here drag your file to this, copy this. It's an easy way to be find out the path. Okay, and go to your code and provide your path here. Now you can see there is an error stating invalid escape sequence. So single slash is allotted to this other purpose in Java. So we need to give a double slash, or otherwise we can give a single slash in the backward. Okay, I'll give this double slash here instead of doing that. Okay, there should be go off. Okay, it went off. Now there is one more error. This is WebDriver. It is throwing an error in WebDriver. Take your mouse and import your WebDriver. All right. So now we are good with this WebDriver instance we created. We created a driver a location as well as we provided a driver location to the system property, and then we need to initialize the browser. What browser you want to use? Chrome browser, right? Driver, whatever instance you have created here, this WebDriver instance is equal to I have placed here. You can see here this is an folder where you can use this. Click on that. Right click on that. You can find this properties. This is an path of relative XPath. This is the path of relative XPath where you can access it. You can give it this relative XPath. But it will work for you. I hope it will work. Okay. And let's see it will work or not. Worked. We understand what is WebDriver, driver, and system set property. And here driver is equal to new Chrome driver. So we try to open this browser and it successfully launched our browser. So now what I want to do, I want to test my commands, which is get driver dot get driver dot get title driver dot get current URL driver dot get page source and close and quit. So let's see driver dot what it is saying. It is a WebDriver method. It is a WebDriver method, and it is return type is wide. Return type is wide. The arguments can accept is in string format. String format. So get is a method name. So let's take this, and this arguments are string format. If it is in string format, what you need to do? You need to provide inside the double quotes. Double quotes which is the path or location, which is URL you are passing it, and before the URL and ending of this URL, you need to provide the double quotes. Double quotes. And already discussed this URL should be a qualified, which can be HTTP or HTTPS. HTTPS. Without that, will not be worked. This is the way we can load the page. We already seen it, and I'm not executing this. And other command is, what is other command? Get title. Get title. Let's see driver dot get title. See here get title. So get title is a method of WebDriver again, and it returns the string value. It returns the string value. The return type is string. Whenever something is going to be returned it, and if we are catching into this, in the sense, it's like we need to be catch with the same data type, same data type. It is returning the string, and you need to catch into the string only. So let's see driver dot get title, and this return type, which is we are holding into this one variable, that is a title variable. What kind of data it is going to be written? It's string type. So I'm giving the string to hold my variable value, because this return type, get title return type, is a string. So I'm storing into this title variable, holding the data type will be string only. So other command, what is other command? Get current URL. Driver dot get current URL. You can see get current URL also is a WebDriver method, which is going to be return the string data type, a string return type. So it will return the string. So you need to be catch into string. I'll give a variable name current URL. Okay, what is the return type? String. So what string value can store into the string only. So I'm giving the data type as string. All right. So what is other method? Get page source. Get page source. So let's do this driver dot get page source. So what is going to be to this page source? Page source also is a WebDriver method. It is also returns the string, and it is going to be return the page source, like whatever page is loaded, that particular page source, it is going to be written. It is also is going to be written into the string. So what I need to do, I need to give some variable to store this value. The variable is if page source. The variable name is a page source, and I'm storing into the string because it is returning the string. And this is an close method and quit method. So let's see driver dot close. So the close method is going to be written void. So void in the sense it will not return anything. So you don't need to be catch it. This driver dot get as well, it will not return anything. So you don't need to be catch anything. Apart from this driver dot get and driver dot close, you have three methods: get title, get current URL, get page source. These three methods are going to be written the string values, and you have some variables to store that whatever returning value, and you are storing into the same data type, which is returning data type. Returns the string and you are storing into the string. And let's see, we'll print this three variables, what it is going to be written it. So I'll keep into this system dot out dot println the shortcut to be load in simple way SYSO control space. Doing this concatenation is like I have given this some string inside the double quotes page title, and I'm providing the plus operation concatenation, and I'm providing the variable name as a title. So it will print page title is then title of the page. I'll do SYSO control space and this double quotes inside the string. The string will be current URL. URL. Here it can be. So make sure to give it little bit spaces to look better. Not an syntax or something. It looks better, right? So I'll do this SYSO in the double quotes. Instead of the string, I'll say page source. To know it, it's like, if when it is printing it with some name that looks good, and also we can understand what is what. A source. I'll tell you this quit method in a minute. Okay, let's execute this now. See, it is executed. The browser is opened, and the browser done this all operations, three operations. Then it is browser is closed. So let's see. Let's execute this. See here, we have a page title is Google. Current URL is this. You can see this current URL. We can copy this URL. The page currently opened it. We closed it, right? If we compare with this currently opened browser also, will give the same URL. And the title of the page is Google that we have seen in multiple times. If we uncommented this, page source also will comment. And you can compare this, previous release or previous day or previous week page source what it was, and what is this, what is today. So current URL I can copy here, paste it here to be validate. Okay, both are same. So title we have seen this. This is on Google. Here you can see the page title is Google. Or if we'll go to this HTML source code, you can say Control F title. You can see the title is Google on that, and as well as page source is this, which is again source of that particular page. Guys, any questions here till now? Till now, any questions? I hope it is uh, understandable. There is no confusion, and it's easy to understand as well. It's a simple browser commands where we can load the page, where we can get the title, get the current URL, get the page source, and close that particular browser or quit this particular browser. Let's see. I'll comment this close, and I'll say driver dot quit. Quit also is going to be close your browser, which is multiple instances. Now we are not having any multiple instances. I'm checking with a single instance. Let's see. It also is going to be written the white, so it will not having any return. Won't return anything since it is a white return. All right, it is closed. So I hope you understand. So let's jump into this other commands. So navigation commands. It's like this navigation commands also we have seen earlier. So what are the navigation commands we have into the Selenium WebDriver? We have two: navigate, two, navigate forward, navigate back, navigate refresh. This two is going to be again accepts the string parameter, that is URL, and the return type is wide like get. The get also is going to be accept the string parameter, and it uses this URL, the string format URL. We need to be pass into that. That will be HTTP or HTTPS. It should be there, must and should. If not, it throws an invalid argument exception. It is a wide return type. It is a wide return type. It won't return anything. So the way we can use is, the command is driver dot navigate dot to app URL. You need to be pass it. So it is the alternative method from this driver dot get. Both are going to be do the same set of action, and this driver dot get also uses this HTTP get operation. This navigate dot to also is going to be use the HTTP get operation. So other method is forward. Right? Forward. The meaning of forward is moving forward. Moving forward. So here it is return type is wide, and the forward is in the browser history. One action, it will forward. For example, if you have, give me a minute, you have performed some actions on that particular browser. If you have performed some particular actions into the browser, it creates a browser history of if your individual actions. So the forward will move forward one action of your history. When you say this back also is going to be come back to this one action of browser history. It is also written the wide return type, so it will not having any returning value. Wide will return nothing. Wide will not return anything. Okay, so refresh we know, right? And we do F5 to page reloading things are. So you can use this refresh to reloading the particular page. So the driver dot navigate dot to app URL, navigate dot forward, navigate dot back, navigate dot refresh. Navigational commands. It's a four methods we have inside the navigate. So to forward, back, refresh. Let's see a practical way. Create another class. And will navigation. All right. What I can create main method, because without main method we cannot execute our programs in a Java. So WebDriver system dot set property, not properties, property. E is WebDriver, the small letter dot Chrome driver, path of the exe file location. It is into this dot lib driver is into this library folder, into this project level, and the relative path I have given Chrome driver.exe. Chrome driver.exe. It is a case sensitive, and this that should be same letters, capital or small, and the location should be correct. What I'll do, driver dot To be initialize the browser, since I have given the path of Chrome driver, I can use driver is equal to new driver class. Created an object for this Chrome driver and kept into this WebDriver reference variable. I'm importing this WebDriver here by taking this my mouse into this WebDriver and import WebDriver, that is org OpenQA Selenium. It is importing. All right. So now I want to do, I want to work on navigational commands. What is the command? First command is to driver dot navigate dot to, and what is the parameter it accepts? To string parameter, that is also a URL. A URL that is should be HTTP or HTTP. Yes. Driver dot navigate. You can see this inside the navigate. We have a few of them. The WebDriver methods is navigate, back navigation methods. It is also navigation method forward, and this is also navigation method refresh. This is also navigation method. So here, whatever navigation you have, right, that is navigational methods. Other than that, it's an object class of Java object class, a method navigate that to returns the swite data type, and it is a navigation method and accepts the string parameter, that is URL, and you need to give into this double quotes, and also HTTP S or HTTP must and should. If you are not going to give HTTP or HTTPS, it invalid argument exception. So one is driver.navigate.to. We may have a question. Our interviewers also will ask. A lot of times, driver.get. What is the difference between driver.get and driver.navigate.to? There is nothing difference. Nothing difference. Both are going to be used HTTP get operation only. Both are is going to be do this, loading this current URL into the browser. But it is WebDriver method. It is inside the navigate method. Okay, nothing is difference. It's an alternative method to get. Okay, so we have other one forward. So until unless if you don't have any history, you cannot do this forward. So in a browser, I opened my browser here and then I loaded my browser. Later I say forward will not be right. You should, let's show you that. Now it is on my browser. You can see here there is no active forward or backward. It's a forward, it is a backward. So it's a back or forward. Both the buttons is not having any active status because it is not having any history till this particular instance. If you have some Google here, see this back button is active now. Back button is active because one action you have performed into this browser, that is you loaded your page. Then search anything into the search box and you'll have two histories. You can do this two times back because two user actions is there and it is recorded two histories of the browser. So do one time, it goes to this Google, and then you can see it is there is a forward button as well activated because you have another action which you can move forward as well. You can go back and go back one more time. There is no other actions to do it because two actions it is you came back, and as well you can do this two forwards. Two times you can do it. There is a two actions which is performed into this browser that is stored into this history. So now if I want to do this forward action, you should have this back action before, and then you can do the forward action. So what I'll do, I load this my page into the Google, then I'll do this driver dot a back operation, driver dot navigate dot back. Then I can do the driver dot navigate dot forward. Later point, I have a refresh. Refresh can do anytime. Navigate. See, it's like after loading it, this browser, the Google URL, I'm doing the back and then forward and refresh. Let's see if we want it to be observed, we want to keep some wait in between that, some few seconds of wait, and then we'll jump into this particular action. So to wait in this Selenium, we have different waits. We'll discuss into that. Right now, I'm using Java wait, that is thread dot sleep. Wait some time, or it is not going to be perform any action in the browser when you have this thread dot sleep. Give this each individual action. So we want to see this what exactly it is doing on the browser. Okay. Let's execute this now by right clicking on the code anywhere, run as. Loaded this Google page, it's waited some time and clicked on back, and now it is clicked on forward, then it refreshes the page. And tomorrow we'll discuss about this web element commands and find elements.